There's no beating around the bush here. Fallout 76 is poo-poo. I decided to try and earn the Platinum Trophy in Fallout 76, the latest addition to the Fallout series. And the game does not have a good reputation, which all started with the infamous quote.
All of this just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
The game launched with glitches and constant crashing, which hasn't changed, by the way.
All of this just works.
Come on, Todd, don't let me down. Don't let me down, Todd!
Alongside launching with no NPCs in the game, only robots and recordings to tell a story. Yeah, peak storytelling, I know. I've been a fan of the series since Fallout 3, but the reviews even scared me away from it. In its defense, it has had regular updates and free DLC, which has included actual NPCs you can talk to, not that you'd want to though.
None of the NPCs blink.
And let's not forget one major thing about this game which makes it different to every other Fallout game. It has online, so you can play with your buddies across the wasteland, which is a nice touch, but to be honest, it's required if you actually want to have a glimpse of enjoyment with this game. I'm going to show you the best and worst moments of my adventure with the Fallout 76 Platinum Trophy because I did have fun at times. I try and give games I play as fair of a chance as I can, and playing with your buddies can be enjoyable.
Oh, mama. That was saucy, everybody. Absolutely mega sauce.
But the game is pretty rough, can't lie about it. With constant crashes and a disgusting approach to monetization, which they've actively used to make the game worse and unbearable at times in an attempt to make you spend real money. So I wasn't really shocked when my friends refused to play this with me after just 1 hour.
Next time you do a platinum, it's when you pick something that's not fucking dog shit.
I'll try my best, mate.
On a side note, I have learned a lot about storytelling from Bethesda and Fallout 76, which I've decided to implement into this video, so big thanks to Todd Howard and Bethesda for helping me out with my YouTube journey. So on that, grab your Nuka-Cola and let's head to Vault 76 and begin. So the trophy list for this game, on paper, is a very simple affair. You can tackle the trophies in pretty much any way you like. There's mission trophies, there's event trophies, there's a ton of trophies related to buildings and a lot of collectibles. So I thought the best thing to do is just to start the game, do some missions, level up my character and get a grip of the game first. But that all depends heavily on being able to start the actual game.
I think it's goddamn crashed. Sometimes things just work.
After an hour-long server issue, I finally managed to get into the game. And firstly, I had to create a character, and there's only ever one person that I model my characters on. Myself. So you start your journey in Vault 76 on Reclamation Day, which is the day when the Vault Dwellers go out into the world to colonize. But as soon as you start the game, there is one thing that you can't help but notice.
Alright, let's see what this is about. Where the fuck is everyone?
So yeah, there is NPCs in the game which were added through DLC, but you still have to complete the main story to get the platinum in this game. And all the quests and areas you visit in relation to the main story are completely abandoned with just a few computers and monitors to tell you where to go and what to do. Yeah, it ain't great. On the plus side though, the game is buttery smooth to play, I have to say.
Oh, you know what? How can this game look better than Starfield? Like, I'm so confused. It's so nice to see a Fallout game in 60 frames per second, I have to say. Like, excellent.
After picking up some supplies from the robots within the vault, it's time to step out into the Wild West. With the updates that have been released, you get the choice to choose between starting at level 1 or level 20. Honestly, I wasn't too sure, but after playing the game, just start at level 20. You don't gain anything really from starting at level 1. And with the longest trophy for being to get to level 100, starting at level 20 puts you at 20% of the way to the longest trophy, which is a great time save. And then when you finally decide which way you're going to go, the trophies start popping.
I just got a trophy! Leave the vault! Yeah! Completed 5 challenges. I haven't even left the vault yet, man! Collected the bobblehead, did I? Did I? Oh my god, these are popping like a mad lad.
After being startled by all these trophies popping like a rabbit in headlights, it was time for my first bit of combat. Stupidly, I forgot to capture the audio for the game here, so you'll just have to make do with the sound effects I've added myself, which are as close to the game as I remember them being.
Yeah, I see you. Oh my god, I'm scared.
Bang!
Oh no! Absolutely smashed it. Didn't lose my composure one little bit.
So after exploring, I actually found myself meeting the Overseer, which I thought was a main story questline, but actually it's the DLC missions which have nothing to do with the platinum, so was it a waste of time? Maybe.
I am overly excited to see you, Overseer. Worst pun I think I've ever made in my whole life.
But this was the first time I'd been in a character's house, and you've got to remember, this is a Bethesda game, so first thing you do whenever you go into anyone's house is you steal everything that isn't pinned down under their nose.
Dude, yeah, just take everything. Yeah, all the plates, all your dish rags, your boxes and your spices and your plates and your forks and your knives. This is a Bethesda game. This is what it's like to play a Bethesda game. You just steal everything that isn't tied down. Oh shit! I just acquired a disease by drinking this dirty water. But I ate all your pepper, love, and I then drank your tap water, and then I developed Ebola. But what can I do for you? What can I do for you?
So within 5 minutes of playing this game, I'd already developed a disease. So the diseases are part of Fallout 76's survival mechanics. If you like survival mechanics, that's pretty good. If you don't like them, well, it's too bad because you cannot remove them. The survival mechanics are thirst, hunger, and of course being exposed to diseases and developing mutagens. There's 21 different diseases you can get in Fallout 76, and some of them do make sense, like rattle hands, which is for firing too much of one weapon. That makes sense. However, the diseases, they descend pretty quickly, and before you know it, you're getting diseases for doing literally the stupidest things and just making your way through the world. Oh, a flower. So on my first mission, it made me realise just how big the map is and how much running I was going to have to be doing. On the hike to find a blood sample for the Overseer, which felt like it took an absolute lifetime, I managed to earn a few trophies. Firstly, it was for collecting 200 pieces of junk.
Oh, hello. Trophy. Gather 200 pieces of junk. I've literally picked up like 6 bits, so, you know, whatevs.
And then for completing 20 challenges.
What?
I can only surmise the reason for getting this trophy so early on, because starting at level 20 must have completed a lot of challenges without me realising. I then came across this pretty big town before meeting a dude who really wanted a daddy.
Daddy, chill.
Help me!
Daddy's here to make you feel alright.
When I finally reached the hospital to find the blood, I had a pretty intense battle with some ghouls, but I must have left one alive hiding in the corner, and when it appeared it gave me one of the biggest shocks I've ever had playing a video game.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Oh shit! I shit my pants well and proper there.
After completing this mission, I was left with 2 choices: walk all the way back to the Overseer, or fast travel, and in this game you've got to pay for fast travel.
19 caps. Fucking hell. 19 caps. God, fleecing us.
And let's be real, it's only in the game to keep you poor. The rewards for completing missions vary from 30 to 300 caps, but most of the time it's at the lower end, especially in the early stages of the game. You can of course sell loot to make money, but you can barely hold any unless you're in a power armor or use a strength build, and the guns in the game will cost you between 300 to 1000 caps to buy, but sell for a massive 20 to 30 caps. I checked this against Fallout 4, and in Fallout 4 even the most basic shotguns sell for around 100 to 200 caps, so you're basically getting around 10% of the caps you would have got for selling items in previous Fallout games. I wonder why this is the case. So I decided to do neither, but instead check out the base building and set up my first camp, and when you do, you get a trophy. There is quite a few trophies tied to this part of the game, and building a camp is essential for storing unwanted items, building and modding equipment, and producing food and water. The thing about building in this one is that you need to find a plan first before you can build most items in the camp. Or you can head over to the in-game store where you can buy full sets for your camp, and each bundle, which contains a few buildings, will only cost you £8 to £12. What a bargain. So I didn't have much to work with here, but I spent a little bit of time building my house. I earned a trophy for building 20 items, and now let me give you a guided tour.
I present to you.
Is this my house? Entry, please.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It was in time to make some friends in Fallout 76, or at the very least play with people who knew the game. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you like Fallout and you have friends to play with, this game will be 10 times better. I mean, you can't do the main story quest unless you want your friends just to stand around and do nothing while you listen to holotapes or look at terminals.
Thanks for being here, Lewis. I know you're just standing around like he's literally just my bodyguard at this point. he's like overseeing us because he's like level 500. He's just like you do you, bro. I'm just gonna stand here and waste my time while you fumble through the game.
But you can adventure, complete all the events that the game has on, and it is a lot better. And when I was playing with friends, I got my next trophy for killing 5 giant creatures.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Let's come for me. Ah! Jesus. Oh, she got a trophy. Giant Slayer. Killed 5 giant creatures.
And then the trophy for reaching level 25. There's a couple trophies that you must earn in multiplayer relating to PvP, and the first PvP trophy I went for, and you should go for too, is for killing another player. The best way to do this is to just not tell your friends that you're going to go for it, and then just turn on one of them, and that's what we did.
Ah! I'm gonna throw loads of grenades at him!
Shit, I just repaired all this fucking armor.
Sick 'em, boy.
Get him! Ah!
I lost 50
Nice.
caps for that.
Oh, yeah. Three-way teabag. That's what we do.
I then hopped on with my Canadian broski Spedgy, who loves to tell me this game is awful, yet clearly spent about 19 years building up his base in this game. He thought it would be a good idea to try and earn the Scorched Earth trophy, which is for killing the Scorched Beast Queen. This just so happens to be the end game boss, and I had no idea about this at the time. And during this mission, lots of high level players gathered together for that sweet loot to try and kill this queen. And when the queen is in the sky blasting you from orbit, a lot of high level enemies will just continue to appear. High level enemies at level 27 scrub with 4 hours of experience should not be fighting, like a Deathclaw.
That was the death cry in his fucking days.
Where? Oh, I haven't even seen one yet. Oh my god. Hope you're gonna kill it, Spedgy, because it's gonna. Oh my god, it's coming after us! Fucking hell!
Despite me surviving by the skin of my teeth, the Scorched Beast Queen was defeated by everybody else, and I unlocked probably the hardest trophy in the game in only the first 5 hours of playing, which was decent.
Oh, it did it. Goddamn did it, boy. Oh my god, this is fucking. It's got a trophy, Scorched Earth.
I can't lie though, I do love the online and I do love the public events. These events have like monstrous amounts of players. Every player who's in that world, which is up to 24, can join one public event, and when they do, it's just carnage and it's just so fun seeing so many different people, all their different builds, how they've built their character and how they're playing and how they fight. It's a real good time. And through my live streams I got to play with so many different people, so big thanks to everybody who saw my live stream and jumped in to play with me. One of the players was Lewis123, who was working on a guide for the Platinum Trophy, and while I was playing he helped me out with some kit, some caps, and also helped me with the longest online trophy, getting 200 revives. You can earn this yourself naturally through playing. I'm actually at around 50 revives now, but the best way to get this, the funnest way to get this, is just to get one of your buddies to find a very tall building and just continuously plummet off the side to their demise. This might be a little bit controversial, but the perk system in Fallout 76 is by far the most superior perk system in any Fallout game. It utilizes perk cards, you unlock them by leveling up, and allows you to tailor your builds very well. They are not permanent like the previous games, so if you have a perk card, you can change it and put it in your build very easily. It allows you to completely change your build on the fly, and you can create up to 3 builds at once, which means you can have multiple builds for different situations. I had one for crafting in my camp, I had one for my rifle build, and I had one for when I was in my power armor using a big Gatling gun. There's one trophy tied to the perk system, which is for maxing out one of the perks, which is very easy to do. You'll end up doing it naturally anyway. You only need 3 to 5 of the same perk to do so. So in terms of multiplayer, there's public and private teams in this game. It's always worth joining a casual public team as soon as you join a world. You get buffed to your intelligence, which increases your XP gain, and there's a ton of perk cards tied to being in a team. And there's also a trophy, which I earn now for joining 20 teams.
Oh, yeah! Yeah! Join 20 teams!
The perks and teams are really great, and because I'm super impatient, I had the perk on that allowed me to run 20% faster winning a team. It's really helpful because you're going to be running around a lot when you're trying to avoid fast travel, especially in the first few hours when you've got no money. A little bit later on, Vaultboy Steve and Crimson joined me and Spedgy on our quest.
Bless you boys, bless you boys.
And we had a quick photo shoot. It was pretty beautiful.
Okay, you're an animal. Yes, there we go. You're a tiger. You're Tony the tiger.
Beautiful. Oh, trophy! Photo bomber. Just want taking pictures of the boys. Of the boys.
And then Steve and Crimson proper did me dirty here. The last mission in the game involves launching a nuke, and when it's launched, you will receive a warning and it will land somewhere on the map and create an area of radiation. Don't be like me. I can't tell you the amount of times I just ignored the warning and got hit by a nuke while I was just minding my own business.
What?
So there's a trophy for standing in the middle of the radius for when a nuke lands. So Steve and Crimson, without me knowing, thought they'd help me out and launch a nuke. However, what they didn't tell me is that they launched the nuke right over my brand new lovely camp I just spent 3 to 4 hours building. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but when the nuke lands, it destroys everything, including your camp, which you have to repair yourself using your own supplies, and also means that I couldn't return to my base for about an hour because it was covered in radiation, and when I went there I just died instantly.
Wait, here we go. Oh, yeah. Ground 0.
So yeah, thanks boys. You can always rely on your friends to fuck with you while you're on a stream.
War never changes.
At this point I'd earned most of the miscellaneous trophies, and all I had left was the trophies tied to the story, daily events and collectibles. The story missions are the real problem with getting the Platinum Trophy in Fallout 76. Don't get me wrong, the game has improved massively since its launch, but the main story has not changed. I spent 20 hours running from area to area, listening to holotapes and reading terminals. The story follows the steps of the Overseer of Vault 76, not the NPC version that you've already seen in this video. When the story came out, she was nowhere to be seen. It's her adventure of coming out the vault and what she finds, and it's about discovering all about the new enemy called the Scorch, which is kind of a ghoul, but they haven't devolved to feral yet, but they're clearly super aggressive and want to kill everyone and everything they see. If you played a Fallout game, you'll have an opinion of the stories. You know, they are pretty hit and miss. I didn't mind them, I enjoyed them for Fallout 3 and 4. This is without a doubt the worst story in any Fallout game and actually any RPG I've ever played. And I found myself just skipping the dialogue within an hour of playing for these missions because, well, you're just reading terminals. The final missions involve joining the Enclave, a secret organization which is ran by, you guessed it, an AI.
Well, you tell me your whole evil, dastardly plan. I'm looting all your shit. How do you feel about that? Yeah? Lotus, bet you weren't expecting that. Taking these glasses. They're my glasses now.
For the final mission, you have to launch a nuke. Honestly, I'm going to say this is the worst level in a video game I've ever played.
That was some great gaming. I'm blown away by how good that part of the level was.
Unlike the rest of the game that spoon feeds you where to go and tells you what to do, this level decides to flip the switch completely and actually tell you not where to go or what to do. Just activate the nuke. This leads to a very disorientating experience where you are fumbling around an underground factory where every corridor looks the same, trying to figure out where to go. It's grim, but when you finally find the launch site and fought endless waves of respawning bots, you activate the nuke and you get the trophy for finishing the main story.
Oh, I am become Death's Badger, didn't it?
I'm in the middle of recording the script and I just feel like I had to intervene and just say that the story for this game is just so bad. I can completely understand why it got such a negative reception at launch. Yes, it has improved massively now. The DLC missions with the NPCs are a lot more thought out, they're a lot more engaging, and there's a longer plot to them over 3 or 4 missions, and it's pretty good, and you get way better rewards as well, like the Chinese stealth armor. But the main game, you don't really get anything noticeable for playing it. You get stim packs, which you've spent just to get there. You get a few purified water, which after an hour you can just make from your camp anyway. The rewards aren't worth doing. It's just honestly so underwhelming, and I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just like, when I think about it, I'm just kind of in awe at how bad it is. I understand there's issues with RPG storytelling. People say, especially Skyrim, Fallout 3, 4, that you basically just talk to someone, get told to go somewhere, you fast travel, you get there, you load through some doors, kill someone, you load through some more doors, you kill someone else, you finish the mission. I understand that was the gameplay loop for all the games, and now it doesn't hold up very well. I feel like Bethesda as a studio have just never ever grown since Skyrim, and if you've played Starfield, I think you're going to find it hard to disagree with that. I feel like their actual gameplay loop is just so in the past, and not in a good way. Not in a good way at all, and it really takes away from the game. Like, if the main story wasn't tied to the Platinum Trophy, I don't think I'd be making this video so negatively, because I think if you just play the DLC, the events, and that was the game, it wouldn't be that bad, which is why I can see why people don't hate the game now, because if you play the game now, just don't do the main story. But if you want the plat, unfortunately, you've got to do it, and it is just proper ass. And the fact that people can't work on their own progression through a story unless they're at the exact same point as you is also just makes it shit. And the fact as well now that, unlike Skyrim, Fallout 3, where you would fast travel, go through a door, loading screen, this time you've got to pay to fast travel. So you'll fast travel to a location, you'll get your quest, you'll talk to a robot, it'll then ask you to fast travel across to the other side of the map, where you will then be given instructions to go to another side of the map. You'll fast travel over there, and then you'll fast travel to the origin of the mission. You spend about 80 caps on fast travel at this point, and you'll be rewarded with 50 caps. It's just an awful gameplay loop. Yes, you could run there, but why would you want to? Why would you want to slow down the process of the story when it's already 20 hours, it's shit, it's long enough? Running there wouldn't make it any better, it would just make it considerably worse. And you just lose all your money. You probably lose the same amount of money running there on food, water, ammo, stims. So ultimately, you're just getting taxed either way. And that's kind of what it feels like. You are getting taxed in the game with caps to play the game.
Oh, you got me capped, you can spend that on fast travel?
God, yes.
It's just, You know what, as well, I'm coming back, because I just want to say that it is redeemed with the DLC. But the thing is, the DLC, to me, it feels like the DLC, everything that's been released at this point in terms of the story and the missions, are what the game should have had at launch. If all DLC stuff came out at launch, I think the reviews would have been considerably different. If they'd scrapped the main story that they had and just put in this DLC as main story missions, it would have been a completely different review. It's just a shame. It's a real shame. I can't help but feel like it's just a massive missed opportunity. That's all this game was at launch, and it lost so many players. Yes, people are coming back because of the Fallout series, but it doesn't change the fact that it could have been better. Imagine if we got the DLC stuff at launch. What else would we have now? So yeah, if you want more details about DLC, you want to see me try and get all the trophies, make sure to like the video, and I will definitely do it in another video. Okay, I've had my rant and I feel better now. After beating the main story, I played the game for around 50 hours and I had 43 out of 51 trophies with only 8 left to go. The game has daily events, and with the introduction of the DLC, there are around 10 of these you can complete each day. They are quite short, taking around 5 to 10 minutes, pretty easy XP, as long as you have enough money to fast travel, that is. I left these until after the story because more daily events unlock as you progress through the story, and there's 2 trophies tied to these events and they unlock halfway towards the end of the main story. The first one is called Queen of the Hunt, which tasks you with killing a legendary beast. I was at level 92 at this point. If you pay attention to your build, these daily events are so easy. And as you can tell, this is not a DLC event, because to cash in the trophy you have to interact with, you guessed it, a terminal. The other daily event linked to a trophy is called Heart of the Enemy, and it's basically the same task but for the Brotherhood. You have to find and kill a scorched beast, one of the harder enemies in the game, and extract a sample, then put it into a machine. Before making this video I didn't realise how similar they are, but they're basically just the same mission. I've done a lot of repetitive stuff in Fallout 76, and I don't think you'll be surprised at this point when I say I had issues with the game. But next is the collectibles. There are trophies tied to finding 10 bobbleheads, 20 magazines, and hacking 50 terminals. And these trophies are pretty depressing. The thing about the collectibles in Fallout 76 is that they are random due to its online nature. Sometimes they'll be there on a map and sometimes they won't be. I found an area that sometimes spawns a bobblehead or a magazine. I had to run through this small area to check for collectibles, and when I'd done that I had to leave the server and join the next server. And the worst bit is actually you can't even read the magazines. They're just in-game buffs that last an hour, so you can't even get any juicy lore or learn a bit about yourself. Oh, a collectible. A magazine. Nice. Thankfully, I had already found 8 bobbleheads, so the bobblehead trophy came quite quickly. But I needed 20 magazines and I only had 7 after 60 hours with the game. For the sake of science, I counted how many times I had to run through this area. Each run through took around 5 minutes plus 2 minutes either side for loading in and out of the game. And this is actually one of the better spots you can farm collectibles, because there's 6 spots throughout this entire run where one may appear. So I played. It took me 47 attempts of running through the same area to finally find 13 magazines. This works out at 423 minutes or 6 hours and 43 minutes. And this is why I hate collectibles. But I wasn't done. Throughout the whole game, I had only hacked 20 terminals, so I had 30 left. One of the legendary perks does allow for you to auto-hack most terminals, which is good, but you've got to find them first. So to do this, I did pretty much the same as the bobbleheads and collectibles, but on a smaller scale. I had to join a server and start at the lighthouse. You run up the stairs, you kill the one rad roach inside, and you hack the terminal. This only took around a minute plus 2 minutes either side for loading in and out, so 5 minutes, which meant this trophy still took around 2.5 hours to collect. It took me over 9 hours of doing this to get all the collectibles and Fallout 76. This is exactly why I hate them so much. Thankfully we're on the home stretch now. I reached level 100, my 3rd last trophy in the game, just a few minutes after finishing up my collectible run. I only had 1 trophy left before I get the platinum, and I'm actually still kicking myself about how hard I made this. The trophy is for modding 50 weapons. It's very simple. However, every single weapon requires a few things to craft and mod. Gears, springs, and screws, to name a few. Screws I found to be the hardest to find without paying attention. Certain objects like fans are found very commonly across the world, but if you're not paying attention to them and you miss them, you'll pay the price like me. If you're going to go for the platinum, just make sure you pick up every single fan you see and don't be a noob idiot like Platbro. So what I had to do was I had to run around all factory looking buildings to find enough fans so I could actually mod enough weapons. And it was pretty much 2 or 3 fans per one mod, and I had about 10 to do. So I had a lot more running around and killing to do. But even at this point, I still was on the fence about Fallout 76. I feel very mixed about it. You've seen me say some good and some bad. The actual base game and the Platinum Trophy are dog shit. I'm not even going to lie about that. But if you want to play the game for fun, ignore the main missions, don't go for the Platinum, play the DLC and have fun with your friends.
Way! Thank God it's over.
And if you want to see me fist some dudes, make sure to check out my no weapons run of the Platinum Trophy of Fallout 4.